Here's the truth. I am not like the other men my age, or at least I don't feel that way. There's differences between me and them. In this podcast, I'm going to be getting into those differences one by one and breaking down these things. I'm Evan Cardi, and welcome to my own personal podcast, The Real Me Podcast, where I talk about what is going on in my life that makes me a unique individual and the thoughts that I have about things and the lessons I've learned along the way, the experiences I've had that makes me unique. This is a podcast all about me. So if you're watching this, you're wanting authenticity, you're wanting to learn more about me through this podcast. If you click on this video and you're like, what the heck am I watching? I'm not interested in this. Then you can always go over to my other podcast, The Vastness of Google, to find content that is more informational with insight. So, that is what I will say to that. Okay. So the very, very first thing that I want to get into before I get to any of this is that the very, very first podcast episode I made was self-absorption. And it's kind of one of those where I didn't take my own advice. And I found that I'm just very, very drawn to myself. Like, I just find, like, I become very attracted to myself the more I listen to myself. And maybe I was always like that, but especially now I'm making legitimate public videos. Like, it's the way I say things, it's the way I talk, it's the way I do all these things. It's like, wow, just wow. I'm really drawn to this. And it's kind of feeling very vain into the self with that going on. In my life, with being really, really drawn into myself, and I had a, like when I talk about astrology, or when I, talk about things in a way that sounds like this is others, the way that others talk about their life and their, astrology validates how I talk about it. That's what I've found. Like when I talk about all these things, it's like I've heard other people talk about it in the same or similar way. And then I look at myself going, wow, I'm not just listening to myself just for, to hearing my voice or all those things. It's partially that, but it's what I'm saying and how I delivered it. Like, I cannot for the life of me imagine deleting any one of these videos that I've made on this channel. I'm not the old archive videos I posted way at the beginning and all that stuff, but those definitely, but definitely these videos that I started 2024 and on my original channel and all that kind of thing. Oh my gosh. I will never do it. I will be very, very careful when looking at emails or something like that. I do not want to get hacked. I do not want to get my channel deleted by a hacker. My worst fear is this channel and my other channel, my other accounts getting deleted off of YouTube. Like, that is my worst fear right now. Because I have lost so much in my life. Videos that I made that were very, very valuable to me at the time. All these things. I cannot afford to lose anything more. So, I will do everything in my power to keep this channel going and to not allow anything to delete the channel. Otherwise, depression, devastation, sadness, despair, grief, those are the emotions that I will probably be really feeling if it should ever happen. So I thought I'd just mention that up front. Now I'm going to get into why I think that I am not like any other men my age. The very, very first reason is the music that I listen to. The music that I listen to is opera slash the kind of music that Barbara Streisand listens to, slash when I see like spiritual music or the music that Spotify Premium gives me the album picks. And I'm very, very discerning about music. I don't like songs with guitar and flat voices and all these kind of things like that. And very unexciting songs. I like songs with the singer has expression in their voice. The guitar, if there is, it's very, very engaging. A piano background. Like, I listen to music that I think is good, more high vibrational music. That is better quality music. That is legitimate music, not the kind of pop music that a lot of people, men my age or younger, like you're thinking teenagers, I'm actually referring to teenagers, listen to. Like when I was going on my electric scooter, I went by the baseball, field and the, what's it called? The, um, tennis court, and they were playing their music. And also I went by the skate park in my local town. They were playing music, and it was this rap type music. It was this very, very low quality music, and I was like, this is not my values at all. I don't like this music. It's not very good. I don't listen to heavy metal. I don't listen to, um, if it is pop music, it's very, very good quality pop music, not low level pop music like I hear a lot of them listen to. So I listen to music that is better quality in a way. Like I listen to Sarah Brightman, Barbara Streisand. I listen to Andrew Bocelli, Josh Groban. I listen to choral music. I just want to throw that in there. Choral music. Not a lot of people are listening to choral music. And opera, I thought it was just like, let me just separate this. I am not a fan of opera. Like when they sing in operatic voices, like songs are poems, okay? They are not singing and just saying, I did this in my life and I messed it up and I said this to you. Like, that's not a poem, and that's how you often find opera music. When they sing opera, and sometimes I can't understand them. Like, I like the broader genre of opera, like getting into the realm of Andrew Bocelli, those kind of things. That's the kind of music that I like. Celtic Woman. Um, you're thinking Pavarotti. You're thinking Celine Dion. You're thinking, well, I don't know if that's opera exactly, but you're thinking all those artists. That's the kind of opera that I am into. So I want to make that difference. Sarah Brightman, if I didn't mention her. So I don't feel like it's very common to listen to that kind of music with with me compared to others my age. I feel like it's very uncommon to listen to that kind of music. I feel like that's what makes me very, very unique. Example of this is just yesterday, very, very recently, a friend who was making a video, very, very interested in um, aviation, aircraft, planes specifically. I have zero interest in that, and I have a fear of that. So I need to, really, really get over that if I were to board a plane that he would fly now. But I see his Instagram stories about planes, and of course, I'm way more active on there. But comparatively, I'm like, whoa, I'm way more active and I'm way more involved in it. But anyway, he was playing music and it was like, ugh, like it's not the worst music, but it's like not my values. Like, that kind of pop music that's with like, you're talking like men college age teenagers ago, they have, very, very, oh, I can't explain it because I don't want to do it. Like, I could play some, but, um, I just don't know the proper genre of the song. Like, I think that you get it. I don't need to explain any more on that. There are a lot of YouTubers, and I'm going to refer to them as YouTubers, not content creators, YouTubers. I do not refer to myself as a YouTuber because it's just too cool, too narrow. I feel like I'm so consumed with YouTube when I refer to myself as that. Content creator is like I'm producing any kind of content, better quality content. It just resonates with me more when I refer to myself as a content creator. I don't produce like crappy slop AI content. I produce good quality original content of my creation. So I am a content creator in that case. But a lot of them post content on social media, people my age. And I look at a lot of them going, why are you on social media? So many of them are. Well, I am, and I'm really, really active on there, and I feel like I'm more active than some of them are. And the content I produce is very, very different and better, in my opinion. Um, the content on social media that they produce is like vlogs. Like I dated this person. Like, let me find some examples so that I can show you. Um, uh, I can't find. Trying to put in a title. I cannot find the name, but I can't find the name, but it's like I dated this person, or I I still like there's this teenager on Dr. Phil that made prank videos. It was like giving the message, I'm a punk and I'm proud of it, like making prank videos. I don't remember his name exactly. Very, very popular, infamous YouTuber making prank videos and taking all of these risks. That's the other thing that I want to mention. Like people my age are possibly drinking or, um, smoking or going out into parties um, and taking all of these risks like he did, like the prank videos. I don't do all that stuff. I don't do all that stuff. Another difference that I don't have written down here, but I thought of, I don't curse. So many of them curse. It's so common for people my age or younger to curse. I don't do that. I don't do that. So that's another difference. But the content that they post on social media, about their personal lives, about the teenage things, about the young adult things, I don't produce that kind of content on my channel. I do produce personal content on myself, but the titles are not typical, and I don't edit my videos like that, and I don't have the same mannerisms when I talk like, hey guys, and like how they talk. I don't do that. It's not who I am. So don't associate me with the other teenagers and young adult men my age on YouTube. I am separate from that. I am different from that. I am my own person. Like they are their own person, but I feel like I'm kind of the odd one out maybe, or different from them. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I'd like to kind of keep it that way. So that when you see my channel for the first time, oh, this person's young, this person's inexperienced, and this person's in all this kind of stuff. Like, no, I'm not into that stuff. You're going to find, like, if you watch my videos, I'm not like that. And I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a content creator, as I said before. So I am original with my content. Do you see people my age posting astrology content, spirituality content, videos on informational topics like I post? let alone the kinds of songs that I listen to. Like, there's a student that I knew in school for just 1 year who does these covers of songs. Like, I'm covering. Like, there's this term called covering, where you're like singing an original song made by another artist, but you're the one singing it. I don't do that. I don't ever call my videos covers. They're all my own original songs. So I produce astrology content similar to the people that I watch on YouTube. Betsy Gutting is an astrologer. The astrology podcast now. Nadia Shah's content. I'll get into that a little bit later, but the content that I produce is astrology content, and you may hear my voice a little bit thinking, oh, you're just an average, teenager, and you may hear my voice like going, oh, you're, immature and, so obsessed with trends and all that kind of thing. Well, look at my content. Is that content that you would see from an average person my age? I don't think so. I think I'm really, really original with my content. Nobody, I feel like, produces astrology content. Like, I want to be an Aries, and I want to be the pioneer of this, because for very purple, like, I'm stepping into my Aries role of being the original. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And I hope that there are others my age who produce similar content as I do. And I know that, I am into Dharma, and I am into those kind of things. I am into, Aiden Minkus, who's a YouTube, he made a lot of videos, deleted them. Now it's only shorts from the last time I checked his channel. Those shorts fall in line with that, and he produces life lesson videos, but, they edit the videos in a certain way that I don't edit my videos, and they're very, very simple edited videos. I don't really edit my videos at all. I use Zoom. Who uses Zoom? My age, around my age to record videos. Like, you may look at me going, oh, you're just one of them. You're just an average, young male who doesn't know right from wrong and doesn't know a lot of things. Well, I know a lot of things, and I'm very, very intelligent, and I produce content like I am in a higher adult, like I'm one of the females or males that I watch to produce astrology and spirituality content in particular. So I am original with that. Another thing that kind of goes along with what I was saying about risk taking is I feel like I am, smarter. I feel like I am wiser and more self-aware than a lot of people my age. Like, I just have a lot of, self-awareness about not getting so sucked into social media, for instance, not getting so sucked into what other people think of me. Like, I am so glad I do not have Leo in my natal chart and I'm on social media, because if I had Leo in my natal chart, I would take things personally. I would get wrapped up in the whole unhealthy social media thing. Like, I'm glad I have my Aries energy and my other energies in my charts, so that I have every other sign in my chart except for Leo. Like, I'm dead serious. My South Node in Scorpio, my Chiron in Capricorn, my, all my Gemini energy, all my, my Aries energy. Where, my dad is a Leo, very, very concerned, kind of self-conscious, kind of concerned about image, and I don't really like that about Leos. Like, I wish that they were more free to be themselves without being so concerned with the other things and needing validation. How do I look at all that kind of stuff and the cool, trendy, party food on the fly, mannerisms about Leo that I wish were different, that in my mind I kind of stereotype about Leo. Like, it's a broader sign, it's a broader energy, and I really, really want to delve into the true nature of Leo. And I really want to do podcast episodes delving into what these signs are really about. And that will come way later. I have this on my list of recording these signs. So I am an Aries. Aries, unlike Leo, doesn't care what you think. It will go out and it will show up its identity to the world without needing the validation, the applause. Like, Leo is a fire sign, but it can actually be, like, really shy. Really shy. My dad, growing up, very, very shy. I grew up very, very shy, but at least now I'm more claimed in my identity and unafraid to express myself. And, I just feel like also I've kind of crossed some boundaries, like I've stepped into pushing the envelope territory with expressing some really, really personal stuff on the previous podcast episodes. But I felt comfortable doing that. Like, it is natural to be on social media. The more you do it, the more natural you feel about opening up. That's just how it is. I will name it, I will claim it, I will accept it, and I will embrace it. So if you're interested in seeing that personal content, you have the option to click on it. You're not obligated to watch that content. If you're not, you don't have to. More people will probably be watching my Vastness of Google podcasts or my astrology content. That's what I get the feeling. That's the kind of content that I'd recommend to family members, friends, all that kind of stuff. So, Aries, I feel, is more brave, more unafraid to be themselves. Like, I am really stepping into my Aries energy very, very strongly, I feel like, in my life. And I am claiming my Aries energy, stepping into my sovereignty, stepping into, who I am as an individual. Like, I am living the authentic, higher road of Aries, I feel like. Like, the more self-aware, wiser, more, like, I feel like I am a more evolved Aries. So, my point here is that I am wiser than the average trends or whatever they talk about, more self-aware. That's what I want to talk about. Now, a stereotype that I associate with, like, in novels and old, ways of, being in, like, And Then There Were None. You think about Toni Morrison or whatever his name is, and all those things like that I associate is this metaphor that I made on my original channel a long time ago when I turned 18 years old, called On the Train. Like, I'm stepping on the train of independence. Like, when you turn 18, when you turn into adult, or when you turn 21, like I just turned last year, you become more independent. You step away from your parents. When you're 20s, you move out and, do all this stuff. Like, you become more independent. You get on the train, so to speak, moving into the city or the adult world, graduating and transitioning out of your childhood, out of your teenage years. Like, you're moving into maturity, you're moving into adulthood. And a story that I think really represents this, that I associate with this, is Great Expectations. And I will be probably making podcast episodes, or one podcast episode, when I experience my Saturn return. I assume I will still be doing it at that time. June 2033, I believe, when it hits very, very hard, I really want to go make a podcast episode lifetime to tell you what I'm experiencing in the moment and how it feels. Like, so often, experience a Saturn return, we make a video after the fact. I want to do it when I'm hitting it and get real about the real experiences and feelings going on when I'm in it. So, Great Expectations. Story about Pip, who gets gifted by a benefactor. Basically, at the beginning of the book, without giving too much away, there's this man who threatens him to give him a file, to give him food, otherwise, I don't know what would happen. And so he steals food, and then he gives it, and then to him, and then it's over Christmas when the book begins, and he's living with his older sister, like very, very mature sister. Like, I think as a sister in Great Expectations is like his older mother. It's not really a sister how the movie that I watched perceived the sister to be. And then the blacksmith, Joe, I believe. So then he becomes really, really into being a blacksmith. He meets Miss Havisham, who wears a wedding dress till the day that she dies, because of being stuck in the past and wanting to keep everything frozen to the moment because of how depressed she feels, and she wants to get revenge on people because of how depressed she feels. So she's projecting it and taking it out on others to try to relieve herself of that anger and of that betrayal that she felt at the wedding when she was betrayed. So, basically, um, he falls in love with this girl, and then they say go back to the blacksmith, is what Miss Havisham says, and then banker comes, Mr. Jaggers, and he, says, like, you are going to England, and you were, going, like, he probably went on a train to England, like, he went from his childhood life in the marshlands or, whatever, the flatlands in the country, and went to the city. Like, I just find that so stereotypical. Like, going from your small town community to the big city, and you happen to be in your 20s and going on a train. Like, the image is very, very, it has a kind of comfort to it. It has a kind of customary nostalgia. And I should get into customs and how I define them right here and now. Customs are like anything at all. Like, you can make anything a custom, an experience that you have, an experience that you imagine having. It can involve the weather. It can involve the people in your life and what they remind you of, what they make you think of, especially. It can involve the smells. It can involve the food. Like, it can involve anything. We make customs all the time in our life. We imagine experiencing things. We experience things, and they remind us of certain things. We think of certain things after the fact. We think of certain things during it. I just call it customs. Like, it's natural for all of us to develop customs. It's not something that I develop on my own. When you think of customs, you're thinking, traditions and ways of being and cultures. But I have another definition for customs. I have a second definition for customs, and this is a very good custom to me. When he went and he got himself involved with people his age, drinking and going to parties as they do, but in England, in, the olden times, in the English way, which is more kind of civilized than, we are, and I'm not British and all that kind of thing, and I don't want to pretend to be. Because I'm not going to change my voice and play around on these videos anymore. Like, I am in myself, in my identity. I would probably get judgments and comments if I were to change my voice and pretend to be somebody else. Probably channeling. Like, the whole thing about channeling is really, really real. Like, I am being myself on social media from this point forward, besides the pretend videos that I may have posted on my channels that I filmed when I was young that you can go check out. Okay, I put those videos out there. I want to be able to find them. I want to be able to see them. They're public. They're free. You can go watch them if you want to. You can find them easily. Please do not judge me. Do not judge me. I'm not going through every single one and blocking comments. Don't judge me on that. I was playing around. I somehow made this public. I don't have to go through and make all those unlisted. They're there. Watch them. Enjoy them. They're free. Okay. So I'm on the train going, then he throws drinks at a thing, and then getting involved with, all the themes that men in their 20s are similar, but it's a more mature, more classic thing instead of the modern music that they listen to and all the kinds of things like that. But it's kind of the same thing. That's what I want to emphasize here. The next thing that makes me different from other people my age is just listen to how, in my opinion, eloquently, insightfully, in a very professional, maybe polished, but maybe that's not the word, like adult way that I speak. The sound of my voice is not like every other one. They all sound kind of similar. They have a similar voice, mannerism to their voice, mannerism to their personality. With their voice, which is very, very common. I've seen a lot of, it's so quite common to have a similar voice when you're a teenager, when you're a young adult. Like, I noticed a similar, voice. And honestly, I can't watch it because it's not aligned with my values. Like, it makes me cringe to watch it. It makes me uncomfortable because, like, I've just gone to the skate park when I used to take risks. I'm just like, what am I watching and why am I watching something so against my values? Like, I feel a discomfort and I feel like I'm out of my league and out of my, what I'm used to watching, what I like to watch. And I feel like this is not me. Who am I to watch this kind of stuff and listen to these people who talk in this kind of way, who have these similar mannerisms? So that's what I feel when I see people my age. It's this similar way of talking that I'm different from. Another thing is the slang that they use. Like, I get comments sometimes from people my age who say, "Good job, dude. Good job, bro. God bless, bro." I got a comment that one time, and I responded in my kind and honest way. I've never been called that before in comments. Quite honestly, you calling me that is against what I believe in, against what I value, and I will even say, if somebody says that again, I don't appreciate you calling me that. Please don't call me that again. Like, I will be honest, because that is, if you know me, I do not talk like that. I don't use those words. Those are not my natural words to use. Like, I made a short at my grandparents' house. You're thinking, oh, you make videos there, you don't spend time with your grandparents. Like, I spend time with family, and they're very, very important to me. So don't think that. I'm going to get into that a little bit later on. But I was making this one video, and there was this person kind of saying something to me, and I perceived him as a teenager, young adult. And then there was this whole conversation where this one person was offending me, and this person was trying to defend me in the weird way, like, don't be mean to this person. But it wasn't like that. It was like, you're messing this person up. And like, it was this whole conversation. It was the weirdest thing, and I wish I at the time interfered with the conversation, and if that were going on in my channel, I would interfere and say something and could you stop doing this, or what is this conversation about, or what's going on here? Like, I have the right to do that because it's my channel. Any comment that I find on my channel, I have the right to get involved in. I will not, oh, this person's weird, oh, you should get associated with this person, oh, you shouldn't comment on my channel. They commented on my video. They came to my video and commented. I have the right to respond back and get to have a conversation with this person to clear whatever they need to clear up, to, do whatever. Like, I have the right to do that. You commented under my video, not somebody else's, my video, or my community post. So that's what I want to say to that. So, again, all the terms, like, I've never liked being called dude. I've never gone as far as calling somebody dude, and yo, what's up is very, very common. Yo, what's, like that whole thing. Homie, I've never been calling anyone homie. Even brother, I never call anyone brother. I'm trying to think of other terms. Just all these terms that they use, I don't use. They're not in my vocabulary. They're not in my typical thing. Nor do I want them to become that. Because I don't want to become somebody that I am not. These things are against what I value in conversation. And I do not like when people call me these names, especially these people my age is most common. Calling me my age. People in their 20s, people, men, I'm talking, younger in their teens. Like, it's very, very common for this in our American society. I don't know about the British society, but I know about the American society. In America, I am not like them with how they talk, with how they get involved in things, with all these things. And another thing that I just thought of is they have all these friends that they're involved with. I have barely any friends in my life. I have my parents, and I have friends that I used to know, but I'm just not involved with friends, and I'm not in a group of friends that hang out and go places and go that way. No, I'm just gonna be honest and real. I'm not like that. And socialization and making friends has been a kind of an issue, and something I've not been the most natural at, and something that I haven't had the strength to have. And I've never really had a friendship where I've gone out and, done places independently. Well, I don't have friendships now where I go places and do that. Like, I'm not involved in a group. I'm not involved in friends through my whole life. I've had issues with that, and it hasn't really materialized for me in my life. I've always been close to family, close to my parents, had friends, and unfortunately, the friends I did have had some, some mental, not mental health issues, but like mental functioning issues. Like, I'm not talking disabilities or all those things, but I'm talking just, if I have to be specific. I was specific on the video about the two friends. I'm sorry if I was very, very specific. I wanted to paint the picture. I wanted to make it the real. I hope I didn't offend the friends that I had. But, ADHD and on the spectrum, those kind of things like that, that's what I was referring to. I do kind of apologize for that video. Yet, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Like, this podcast is a real podcast, and I won't talk about anything that I darn well wish to. I won't name names. I was going to do it, but I'm just like, I can't do this. So if you want to watch the podcast episode, you can, but know that it is personal and it does get into others' information in my life. And there are no comments on that episode. I don't want to see people's comments because it will be judgment. It will be, you shouldn't do this, and how dare you talk about your friends, and is this really right to do? Are you sure you're doing the right thing? Like, all that. I don't want to see that on that video. Anyway, enough about that. Now another thing that is kind of the opposite of what they have. My perception is that, for example, the YouTuber Aiden Minkus, you know what I perceive him as doing? Going into a nursing home and helping the elderly. That's what I perceive him as doing. Where he is, thinking, oh, I want to help, older people. It's very, very important. Then the older people say, well, thank you, young man, and they have their walker and they're walking around to their room and to their, whatever. Let me be real and honest. I will not bow down to that. Unless I feel in my heart like I want to do it, and the way I talk about it is in a way where it's me, it's my authentic thing that I want to do. Like, I will, excuse me for that. I will not bow down to that, to helping the elderly when I do not feel in my values to do so. And if you watch my content, you will know me. That's not a bad thing to do. That is not aligned with who I am and in my values. I do not help the elderly. Let me make that clear. So I may not be like the other ones, but I do not help the elderly. So, if you watch my content and all my astrology content, does this person, maybe they do, but I want to make it very, very clear I don't do that. I will not bow down to that like they all do, and, well, not they all do, but, for example, I perceive the YouTuber Aiden Menkus, Aiden Mekas or whatever his name is, to do that, who's somebody at my age. Throughout my whole entire life, my dad has been watching sports, my mom has been watching sports. You're associating areas, very, very common with sports. I did know an areas for like a teacher in my composition teacher was an Aries in my first year of DMAC college, community college, and he was into sports. I'm not into that. So many of them are into sports, playing sports, watching sports, and do not say Aries is a sign that's into sports, or Aries is associated with sports. That can be one of the qualities of it, but I am not a physical Aries. Deborah Silverman, if you're watching this, you kind of stereotype Aries as being this physical, caricature of an Aries. It's very much about sweating and lifting weights, going for a run, and doing all these things and being in your body, and, I've been kicking in this way. Like, that is not who I am. Aries is an energy. It's not like activities that you do, like going for a run and all that kind of thing. Like, that's superficial. astrology. And if you're a real astrologer who has experienced over 45 years, then you wouldn't be so stereotypical as to label Aries a physical level. So that's beginner's level. I mean, that's simple for people to understand, but there's a difference between simple and stereotypical and putting signs in little boxes and saying, you're physical, you're this, you're that. Like, that's not what astrology is. It's the categorization of signs and everything like that. That's a very, very narrow, superficial pop type of astrology. I mean, with astrology, I don't know to, what's your sun sign, and looking up your horoscope and all those kind of things like that. Like, even that, I'm not, like, the astrology that I talk about, I like to think it's real astrology. And, I'm not against looking at charts. I said in my story with astrology video that I'm not into looking at charts. I'm into charts. Because if you're into astrology, then it doesn't make sense to not be into natal charts. Like, I'm into the chart. I'm into the things on the chart and I want to learn about it. But I just don't go through, I just don't analyze it like astrologers do. I just don't look at every single aspect and do all that. Like, I don't analyze it in an astrological way that is in a way where it's not looking at I look at a chart, but I look at only a few aspects from that chart. I don't look at this aspect here, this aspect there. So I want to clarify that. But so I am not a physical Aries. I am an intellectual Aries. I use my Aries energy. I am independent. I am individual. I am assertive. I am passionate. I am confident. But I talk about it. I write about it. I don't physically move my body and and be assertive in that way. Like, I used to fight physically when I was little, but when I was a kid growing up, but I don't fight, physically. It's just so stereotypical and so, like the angry warrior stereotype. Like, that's like Deborah Silverman, as an astrologer, the very, very first astrologer that I watched is also a psychotherapist. You have stereotyped Aries into a way that it's not. And your caricature of Aries in your video where you were acting out the signs way back when in front of an audience did not resonate with me. It was an exaggerated stereotype of an Aries that was did not resonate with me. So that's what I need you to know, because I do feel that is wrong. I do feel that is not painting an accurate picture of Aries energy, and I'm very, very just surprised because of her years of experience with astrology and then stereotyping signs like that. Anyway, enough about that. I've gone on enough about that. Back to what I was talking about. Going along with the content I produce, a lot of them are more extroverted. I am more introverted. I am more reflective. I am more into spirituality. Who my age has a lot of over 100 oracle decks. Who my age, I haven't meditated in a while, but I probably should get back to that. Who is into spirituality, who watches all these, call it Baron Reid and Saint Chicago, all these things. I think that other people at my age are not into that kind of stuff. So that's another thing that I just want to throw in. The other thing about my voice is when I watch my voice, I just think there's a feminine quality to my voice. Like, I'm almost like a woman. Like, I'm a blend between a woman and a male. Like, sometimes I perceive myself as one of the characters that I came up with when I was doing my Menton thing when I was growing up. Like, I perceive myself as a professional, well, not a professional, but a really well-class, British, older woman. And then when I'm around those kind of people, I feel like male. And I feel like, that kind of thing. Like, I feel male around females and female around males. Like, that's how I perceived myself. Is, when I was little, I was talking to males who were older than me, but I felt like like a young adult woman as opposed to a young boy, growing up. That's how I perceived myself. And that's how I perceive my speaking voice when I listen to myself and do all that, as a kind of having a female quality. And I think that my voice sticks out from others because it's more female. It's not the typical voice. And so when you hear me, you're like, this person's very, very different than the rest of them. Like, if I had the typical voice as the rest of them have, then you would perceive me as, just like them. And yet you're talking about astrology. Like, you're trying to make it astrology cool. Like, when you listen to me, do you think I'm trying to do that? You think, like, who is this person talking about astrology? And all this stuff. Like, how I talk is original, and I talk about, astrology and, that kind of way, and everything like that. And I have a unique quality in my voice, and sometimes I remind myself of Aaron Dowdy, the YouTuber, the content creator, Aaron Dowdy. Like, there's something about my voice, my personality, that's like just similar to Aaron Dowdy. And he makes all these spirituality videos. And I make astrology videos and all this kind of stuff. Like, I remind myself of this person that I do follow that you can find, I think, in my spirituality channels. They are more masculine, I feel like. I am more feminine. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is I mentioned that in the Intellectual Attraction podcast. If you want to go listen to that, I think that you'll find it very interesting if you want to learn more about my intellectual attraction to things as opposed to sexual attraction. I did throw in sexual attraction only to differentiate it from intellectual attraction. I thought I might throw in that detail. I said in that podcast that I was into wearing clothes. I was into not wearing those clothes, but I actually did wear clothes against my values. Like, I did wear sneakers, athletic shorts, and do all that because I was trying to attract myself to them. I was trying to be like them. I was trying to be one of them because I wanted to fit in. Not really. I wanted to feel that feeling, that sexual feeling, that alive feeling that I felt on the sexual level. That's how I wanted to feel. Of course, I didn't do that right now because it's Scorpio South Node, not Taurus North Node. I know my values. I know what clothes I wear, and I will wear them. I do not wear shorts, sneakers, and whatever kind of clothes that is common for them to wear nowadays, like sweatshirts of athletic logos, or whatever they wear, or even hats. I don't wear. You will never find me wearing a hat. Like, how they flip the hat, reversed. Like those hats that you can put on your head that you can just flip around and it looks really, really cool, and you see the reverse side of it. I don't wear those hats. Like, the clothes that I wear, I feel like is not the same as the people in America. Some of the clothes they wear. I'm talking about American young men and Americans my age, not necessarily British, maybe British, but maybe American. So the American individuals that I'm referring to. So the clothes that I wear are not the same. I don't wear like tuxedo and really, really professional clothes in my videos because it's excessive and that's unnecessary, and that's not who I am. I wear comfortable clothes, but good quality clothes. I wear, my typical clothes is a long sleeve shirt with not jeans. I wear, good quality sweatpants and slippers. That's my typical clothes at home. And I wear, jeans and stuff like that in public. I don't wear jeans at home anymore. I used to, when I was little, I used to dress in, button-down shirt, and I used to wear bracelets, and I used to wear necklaces. Like, I was really into jewelry when I was little. I'm not into that now. I don't wear that now. But I used to wear, tan pants or whatever. I don't wear that now. my clothes are not average. Excuse me, my clothes are the average clothes that you would wear. Like a lot of people my age wear a lot of clothes that I would wear, but there's sometimes they wear clothes that I wouldn't wear. That's what I'm saying here. Differentiating myself from the other people who produce my kind of content. I don't censor myself in my videos because I don't feel like I need to. I'm just so good at being naturally myself and not being very unbalanced and risking what I'm talking about and talking about all these very dangerous things and talking in all these, with these cover-ups and these edits and these, like, for example, to use the phrase, if you will, a lot, or as it were, or, like, I tune myself to the audience when I make my videos, yes, but, this is very, very difficult to explain. Go watch Pam Gregory. I do not talk and present myself exactly like Pam Gregory. I'm very kind of similar to her, but I'm not, I don't wear the same clothes to begin with. I'm not as, um, you know, skilled, or you're not skilled, but I'm trying to think of the right word. Polished. I mean, I can't think of the right word. I can't think of this. I can't describe this. I can't put this into words. If you go watch Pam Gregory in my videos, you'll find a difference. You'll find that I am more just kind of loose, in my opinion, more natural, my authentic, but I'm not like the rest of them where I just spill out my life and embarrass myself and do all that. But I'm not like, unreal and authentic where I don't cover up in unnecessary ways what I have to say. I don't speak in colloquialisms. And if you hear my voice, like when I say the word things, and I have nose issues with my Mercury and Taurus, how I speak, don't associate with me with Astro Finesse. I am not like the YouTube channel Astro Finesse. I am very, very different than Astro Finesse, even though he produces astrology videos. My personality is different. The obvious is different, obviously. I shouldn't even have to go into that. But getting into what I should be going into, I am not like Astro Finesse. If you go watch his channel, please don't compare me to that YouTube channel. I am not like that. And I don't want to try to be cool talking about astrology like that. Like, I am not that. A lot of people the very, very last thing that I want to say is a lot of people that I watch content that is, just a lot of, like, I don't play video games, I don't play Fortnite, I don't do all this kind of thing, and watching, I don't kind of think, kind of, I don't know, just the content, like watching, dating videos, or watching, vlogs, like, I can't think of it, because I don't watch that content. The TV shows that they watch, I don't watch. The channels that I'm subscribed to, like they're subscribed to, Mr. Beast, or these really, really cool other, teenage YouTubers. Like, I didn't make vlogs, like I went to this school and did this, and I edit my video and make it a real thing. Like, I do my Real Me podcast, but they're videos of me making a podcast just talking. Not showing myself in real life, going around places and doing that. Like, maybe when I get real advanced with my videos editing, I will probably want to include some experiences in my life to go around the video. Like Colette Baron Reed's videos in 2019 where, like, she was going places and doing things that were kind of unrelated to the video, but then she was getting back to her main video. Like, that sounds like a great idea, but it's not going to be the whole video probably. But that sounds like a really, really good idea. So when I get really skilled at video editing, like really skilled, I will be able, if I should get really skilled, I will be able to do that. Like, there's a will, there's a way. Like, if you watch, I don't want you to watch my videos and think, oh, well, how can you do that? Why are you so skilled to do that? I could figure it out. I have the same feeling. Like, I don't want to watch videos where they're having skills that I can't do. Like, where there's a will, there's a way to these things. And the channels that I'm subscribed to, like Teal Swan, or Eckhart Tolle, or, all these astrology channels, all these spirituality channels, New Thinking Line with Jeffrey, Mishlove or whatever it's called. Um, uh, CBS Sunday morning, all these channels that I'm subscribed to and the content that I watch is not the same as a lot of people that I feel my age or younger or older than me. Okay, so that is all that I have to say on this topic. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, sometime in my 20s, my other podcast, The Vastness of Google More Than Astrology, I want to make that on Spotify. I don't know about Apple Podcasts, but I want my podcast to be on Spotify. I need to find out how you can put podcasts on Spotify, but I feel like I deserve to have my podcast up there. This podcast will not be up on Spotify. This is a personal podcast, and who on Spotify wants to listen to my personal life and my personal story and da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, it's not appropriate on Spotify. My other podcast, The Vastness of Google, is more appropriate for Spotify. So I do want to put that podcast up there sometime. I don't know if you need a license or you need to sign a deal with them or contact them or whatever. I will find a way because I want my podcast to be one of the astrology podcasts up there, The Vastness of Google, more than just astrology, right up there. If you search astrology podcast and if you search down, you'll find that podcast, you'll find me, you'll follow me, you'll listen to my episodes, and I'll post on a somewhat regular basis, but some of the videos I will post will be YouTube videos and live streams and all these kind of things. Like, I will post a lot of podcast episodes, but they will not be all podcast episodes. Sometimes there'll be presentations, or sometimes there'll be, live streams or just videos on Zoom. Like, not all of them will be podcasts, but I feel like the big, really important topics I really want to make podcasts. Like, that's what I tend to gravitate towards. So anyway, that's what I want to say, that I'm really interested to hear your feedback down below and your comments and everything like that. And bye for now.